Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Alex Avila with Love University, and we're back. I'm an author, psychologist, and speaker. And every week we talk about how to love yourself, others, and a higher nature, how to improve your finances, career, health, relationships, and spirituality. And today we're going to start a new series, parts 1 and 2. Create unstoppable relationships. Say no to negativity seekers. Would you like to have an unstoppable relationship? One that is loving, harmonious, productive, and lasting? If the answer is yes, then it's important for you to associate yourself with the best people you can find for your friendships, business associations, and romantic relationships. We start by examining the world of people and see that there are two main types of individuals in the psychological sense: invincibility seekers and negativity seekers. Invincibility seekers are those individuals who strive to be the best they can possibly be. They focus on mastering their inner states of being and creating thoughts of compassion, empathy, love, creativity, and confidence to elevate themselves and others. They have emotional intelligence and are psychologically mature. They exude kindness, goodness, decency, love, and strength. These invincibility seekers can contribute greatly to your growth and happiness in life. But then we have the negativity seekers. These are the individuals who live at a low level of psychological development. They're critical, selfish, complaining, negative, and aggressive. In the beginning, they can seem to be your best friend or ideal romantic partner. But then at some point, they revert back to their true nature, a negative and emotionally draining person who can suck the life out of you. If you let them, they can make your existence a living hell. Now, Jonathan, my producer, we talked about this off air sometimes. Tell me your experience with these kind of individuals, the negativity seekers.
Yeah, I've dealt with negative friends, negative dates, I want to say negative partners. And I feel like when you're not emotionally connecting on a good level, the vibes are off and you just feel weak and tired after just trying to hang out with them.
Definitely. Of course, sometimes they have what we call the masquerade, right? Especially in the romantic world, they wear a mask to cover their true identities. And then once you get comfortable, the mask comes off and then you realize they're not what you thought they were.
Compatible.
And also they might have these other traits, right? The negativity seekers.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes there are negative traits that you can work with, or it's like traits that like aren't deal breakers.
Good point. Other times they are deal breakers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about here. Now, when we classify people into invincibility seekers or negativity seekers, we're not looking at superficial traits or surface differences. We're not evaluating people based on looks, connections, intelligence, or educational attainment. There are negativity seekers from among the rich and the poor. They come from all walks of life. What does matter is a person's level of emotional maturity and psychological development. As a good, kind, and decent human being, does a person exude compassion, patience, confidence, and goodwill to others? At this point, you may be thinking, what about everyone else in the middle? Those who are neither invincibility seekers nor negativity seekers. How do we understand those individuals? Those in the middle can be seen as status quo people. They're settled in their present life and may even be comfortable to a certain degree, but they're not entirely happy or successful. They have found a certain level of psychological comfort or security, some more than others, and are living their lives as best they can. But since they're not focused on their inner development, they often suffer when their self-defeating mind kicks in and invades them with thoughts of anger, sadness, fear, regret, and deprivation. The other danger for status quo people is that they're vulnerable to being infected by the negativity of a world dominated by negativity seekers. They can become victims of mood contagion and pick up the negative energies of other people. Mood contagion occurs when other people infect you with their negative moods, and you start to feel like they're feeling: frustrated, fearful, angry, and unhappy. If you're a status quo person, you may not have constructed the emotional shield you need to protect yourself from the negative people of the world. As a result, you suffer from their downward energies. Although some status quo people may have a relatively pleasant life, they can enjoy much more happiness and success if they become invincibility seekers. Notice that the term seeker is used here, a person who is striving to become better and grow as a human being. As an invincibility seeker, you're seeking excellence in your inner and outer life, and you want to help those around you reach the same state. Being an invincibility seeker doesn't mean that you're perfect. It just means that you've made the decision to work on yourself and become the best person you can possibly be. morally, psychologically, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It means that you want to help others and make a positive impact on the world. How do you recognize these invincibility seekers? First, you will see that they're full of energy. People feel better and more comfortable around them. Invincibility seekers extend their compassion to others. They're kind, loving, forgiving, and patient. Also, they're authentic, natural, and confident without having to brag or boast. They have stopped trying to impress others with a facade because they know that the best way to live is to be true to themselves and others. Here are some of the characteristics of an invincibility seeker that you should be on the lookout for when choosing your friends and life partner. First of all, they're in tune with the rhythms of life. Normally, they're patient people who take their time doing what they need to do with full awareness. At the same time, they recognize that they may need to act quickly and decisively when there is an emergency or urgent matter at hand. Overall, they're flexible and can adapt well to the needs of any situation. Number two, they're secure within themselves. They don't place unwanted pressure on you to do what you don't want to do. They're so inwardly balanced in their mindset that they don't need to argue with you about the best way to act in life. They lead by their noble example, more than just mere words. And number three, they're the peacemakers of society. When other people are creating conflict for its own sake, they rise above the fiery mess with peace and poise. Their mere presence helps bring an end to conflict and fosters harmony where there is discord. Although invincibility seekers are the type of people you want to spend the most time with, you will undoubtedly run across negativity seekers, negative, critical, and weak-minded people who try to drag you down to their level. Because of their ability to cause pain and destruction in your life, it's important to study their nature carefully and be able to identify them when they're around you. How do you see through negativity seekers? Here are some of their characteristics. They spread their negativity everywhere. Like a virus, they love to spread anger, fear, regret, and sadness everywhere they go. They think they're better than other people. They have a strong sense of entitlement and false superiority. They love to gossip and criticize. They like to talk about other people's flaws because it gives them a sense of excitement and empowerment, a feeling of being alive. They live in misery, although they would probably deny it. They live in a miserable state of mind. Rarely happy for long, they suffer from their own negative natures. They're punished by their own personality. And finally, they rarely want to change. They may tell you how much they're open to improving themselves, but in reality, they usually aren't. They're content to stay in their negativity prison and may even become angry at you if you try to help them escape. So how do you protect yourself from negativity seekers? Once you know how to identify them, your next step is to learn how to protect yourself from them. Now, sometimes you can't avoid them. You live with them or work with them. They may be even a part of your family or even a spouse or love partner. If that's the case, you need to separate yourself, your psychological and emotional health from their influence. You can put up a psychological force field that protects you from the emotional bullets they fire at you. Try this exercise. Be the doctor. Imagine that the negativity seeker is a patient in a mental hospital and you're the doctor. You can offer them advice, medicine, but you can't make them take it. They may refuse to take it. They may even yell at you for offering it. How dare you try to change me? But you know that no matter what happens, they are trapped in their mental hospital. But you can leave anytime you want. You can go home to a relaxed and pleasant place. You don't have to be influenced by them in any way. To further protect yourself against negativity seekers, here are some effective weapons you can use. Number one, see them as suffering from themselves. Negativity seekers are often their own worst punishment. When someone is criticizing you or being mean to you, realize that they're also suffering from the fiery force of their own words. When they attack you, watch as their face turns red. They clench their fists and tremble in anger. The reality is that they're harming themselves, physically and psychologically, with the very negativity they're trying to force on you. Number two, refuse their gift of negativity. Negativity is not really a gift. It's actually a booby trap, primed to explode at a moment's notice. But the person giving the negativity thinks it's a gift because that is all they have to give. Your best approach when dealing with a negativity seeker is to refuse to accept their negativity. When someone gives you a gift in real life and you politely refuse it, Where does the gift go? Back to the original gift giver. If you don't want it, you can simply return it to the person who gave it to you. So you can say to the negative person when they give you the gift of gossip, I don't talk about other people when they're not present. Thanks for offering me the gift of gossip, but I don't want it. You can have it back. You can do the same with any of the so-called gifts, anger, fear, and sadness that they try to infect you with. Make sure you return it to the person who tried to give it to you. When negativity seekers try to control you with their gift of negativity, you say to them mentally or verbally, I will no longer sacrifice my natural integrity to you. I am now living my own life. And also learn the reverse lesson. Here's an important idea. Let the negativity in others teach you how to be the opposite way. You can learn peace from an angry person, patience from an impatient person, and love from an unloving person. Think of everyone in your life as a teacher. Even the most difficult, aggressive, mean-spirited person on earth can teach you a reverse lesson. This is applied when you do the opposite of what they would do. When we respond to anger with calmness, rudeness with kindness, and impatience with patience. And finally, attract your own level. People often ask this question, why does an insecure person attract an abusive one? The answer is simple, because they occupy the same low psychological level of development, only in different forms. The insecure person unconsciously attracts an abuser because that is what feels natural to them, while the abuser unconsciously attracts an insecure person because that is what feels comfortable. To attract invincibility seekers as friends and romantic partners, you need to work on yourself first. Read, think, meditate, pray, and associate with other invincibility seekers, those who are kind, loving, giving, and compassionate. The more invincible you become, the more you will attract those who share a similar mindset. Once you start to become a happier, more fulfilled, and integrated human being, you will discover a miracle. The old negative friends and relationships in your life will fade away. You will attract more loving, compatible, healthy, and fulfilling human connections. So, love university students, today's message is simple but powerful. To create unstoppable relationships, you need to say hello to invincibility seekers and goodbye to negativity seekers. For negativity seekers, you need to learn how to recognize them, be aware of them, and protect yourself from them. Think of yourself as a doctor who is treating a patient. They're sick. They may not realize it. You offer them medicine and they may not want to take it. However, if they don't want to take it, you can still go home to your comfortable place of mind. And they suffer from their own illness. You have compassion for them, but if they don't want to change, there's nothing you can do. At the same time, you can defend yourself from negativity seekers in the world. Also, you can refuse their gift of negativity when they offer it to you, whether it's gossip, fear, or anger. And you can learn the reverse lesson. From an impatient person, learn patience. From an angry person, learn peace. And from a person filled with hate, learn how to love. And finally, attract your own level. If you want to be an invincibility seeker, you need to raise your level as well through study, meditation, prayer, inner work, so you can attract people that reside on your same emotional and energetic level. These are the invincibility seekers, the greatest friends you can ever have, the greatest love you will ever experience. And one more thing, to maximize your invincibility, make sure you pick up a copy of Invincible You, the book, on Amazon.com. So love university students, go out this week, live with self-acceptance, love yourself, love others, and love the higher nature. And by the way, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Avila, that's DrAlexAvila, and also follow me on the social media links below. And now the moment has arrived. Put away your notebooks, your iPads, your phones. Love University, class is now dismissed. This is Dr. Alex Avila.